Hello viewers, welcome to our daily bulletin. Coming up next are the top stories.
General Secretary Nguyen Phu Trọng meets with Secretary of Shanghai Party Committee. Vietnam-US cooperative relations go beyond expectations. Early election preparations done in Lai Châu border areas.
On May 13, Party General Secretary Nguyen Phu Trọng met the Secretary of the Party Committee of Shanghai, Han Zheng, who is leading a Chinese party delegation to Vietnam.
The Vietnamese party leader welcomes the visit by Secretary Han Zheng. He spoke highly of Shanghai's development and progresses in cooperation between the city and ministries, agencies and localities of Vietnam. He expressed his wish that following the visit, relations between Shanghai and Ho Chi Minh City and other Vietnamese localities will be strengthened. He affirmed that the Vietnamese party, state and people always attach importance to maintaining the friendly neighborliness with China. He proposed that the two sides increase the sharing of experience, boost cooperation in all areas, along with maintaining peace, stability and friendship. Secretary Han Zheng said the Chinese party, state and people always pay heed to the neighborly friendship and the comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership with Vietnam. He committed to enhance cooperative ties between Shanghai and other Vietnamese localities, making them develop in a more robust and practical manner. Earlier the same day, Shanghai's party leader was received by Politburo member and Deputy Prime Minister Vương Đình Huệ and Politburo member and Secretary of the Hanoi Party Committee Hoàng Trung Hải.
President Trần Đại Quang welcomed the Vietnam-Japan Special Friendship Ambassador Suji Ryotaro in Hanoi on May 13.
President Quang valued the ambassador's contributions to boosting relations between Japan and Vietnam, particularly in culture, arts, people-to-people exchange, and humanitarian activities. Japan has become one of Vietnam's most important partners, he said, citing the consolidated mutual political trust and expanded economic ties. Vietnam and Japan are working closely to implement high-level agreements and key projects to further their comprehensive cooperation, he noted. The state leader said he hopes that the ambassador will have more practical activities to enhance the strategic partnership. The diplomat said during his Vietnam visit, he works with the Ministry of Planning and Investment to step up Japan's aid to the country's firefighting force. He suggested both sides enhance exchanges in education, tourism, and people-to-people exchange to further mutual understanding between the two peoples. President Quang affirmed Vietnam's desire to develop clean agriculture and processing industry, adding that Vietnam will facilitate Japanese businesses' investments in the country.
U.S. President Barack Hussein Obama will pay an official visit to Vietnam from May 22nd to 25th. The long-expected visit is set to further promote the multifaceted cooperation between the two countries.
During the visit, the U.S. President will hold talks with top Vietnamese leaders to outline measures to boost the bilateral comprehensive partnership in trade, investment, education, security and human rights, as well as regional and international issues of common concern. The trip takes place at a time when Vietnam-U.S. relations are developing fruitfully beyond the expectations of both sides.
I think this is going to be a historic visit because I think different from his predecessors when Bill Clinton or George Bush visited Vietnam, the relationship was in a very different place. And I think now this is probably the strongest the Vietnamese and American relationship has ever been. And I think this is an opportunity where we're building towards future exchanges in ways that just did not seem possible years ago.
More than 40 years after the Vietnam War ended and 21 years since the normalization of relations, Vietnam-U.S. cooperative ties have grown strongly both bilaterally and multilaterally. Links in security, defense, education, science, technology, and climate change prevention between the two countries made significant progresses with the signing of the Joint Vision Statement in 2015. Two-way trade increased 90 times from 1994's figure to $45 billion last year, and the figure is expected to rise after the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement is officially approved.
I hope that the U.S. will lift its ban on arms sales to Vietnam. I expect President Obama and the U.S. government will help Vietnam modernize its army.
Obama will become the third U.S. consecutive president visiting Vietnam after the visits of the then-presidents Bill Clinton and George William Bush in 2000 and 2006. The visit will mark a new milestone in Vietnam-U.S. relations and reaffirm Obama's commitment to a strategic U.S. rebalance in the Asian and Pacific region.
We now visit border areas of the northern mountainous province of Lai Châu to see how the localities have prepared for the early election of deputies to the National Assembly and all-level People's Councils slated for May 15. Mù Cả is an extremely disadvantaged border commune in Mường Tè district of Lai Châu province. Its preparation for the early election has been carried out for months. There are 1,366 voters to cast their ballot in 9 constituencies in Mù Cả commune, where 40 eligible candidates will run for seats in the Communal People's Council. Mù Cả is among the remote border and island areas that will organize voting earlier than the official general election day, which is slated for May 22nd, a Sunday, as according to law.
Preparations for the election of deputies to the 14th National Assembly and the Communal People's Council have been completed in my commune. We have received support from the district and province levels in our preparatory work.
Together with Mù Cả, early election will also take place in the border communes of Ta Ba and Ta Tong of the district. These localities, home to more than 5,800 voters, are underdeveloped areas where transport is inconvenient, so several polling stations can only be reached by walking. The Mường Tè District Election Committee said preparations for the election have basically completed.
All materials related to the election were transported to the constituencies far away from the communal center. All forces serving the election are now ready. The district has also distributed over 80 ballot boxes to serve dispersed residential areas.
So far, 63 provincial election committees, 712 district election committees, and 11,162 communal election committees have been formed nationwide. There are 184 constituencies for the National Assembly elections and 87,805 constituencies for People's Council elections at all levels. One election group is established for each polling station, totaling 91,221 groups across the country. An exhibition highlighting milestones of Vietnam's National Assembly over the past 70 years is taking place in the Central Highlands province of Lâm Đồng. We went along to take a look.
The exhibition introduces more than 150 photos and documents featuring the National Assembly's first days of operation, as well as its outstanding achievements over different periods. These objects provide visitors with an overview of the National Assembly's history of establishment and development, together with great achievements the legislature and people have reaped over the past 7 decades, whereby affirming the position and importance of the highest representative agency of the people and the most powerful body of the state. A range of socio-economic and cultural achievements of Lâm Đồng province during the 2010-2015 period also featured at the exhibition. The exhibition opens to the public through May 20th.
Major projects with state investment from 10 trillion Vietnam dong upwards must be reviewed to calculate the exact total capital needed and avoid losses. Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc has assigned the task to the Ministry of Planning and Investment as well as relevant ministries and localities.
The Ministry of Planning and Investment was requested to inspect the compliance with public investment regulations, review the implementation of the law on public investment, and propose measures to accelerate the disbursement of public investment capital. It must also examine build, operate, transfer, and public-private partnership projects to fine-tune regulations to attract more non-state capital. While ensuring the transparency of bidding processes, the ministry also has to monitor the sale of public assets and evaluation of businesses with big land and trademark ownership. The government leader asked for stronger administrative reforms to improve the investment climate, as well as the competitiveness of the nation, enterprises, and Vietnamese products. Foreign invested projects that use high technology, manufacture high added value products, and are environmentally friendly should be prioritized, while startup businesses should be provided with optimal conditions to develop.
Domestic cement and clinker consumption since the outset of this year has risen by 15% to 24 million tons, equivalent to 32% of the annual target. More in the following report.
Statistics released by the Department of Building Materials under the Ministry of Construction showed that domestic consumption in April alone reached 6.07 million tons, surging 17% compared to the same month last year. Of the total, 2.4 million tons of cement was sold by the Vietnam Cement Industry Corporation, 31% higher than its sale in the corresponding period in 2015. Meanwhile, cement export remained stable with 5.15 million tons, a year-on-year increase of 0.4 million tons, 1.06 million tons of which was shipped abroad by VSEM. According to the department, thriving cement consumption in the second quarter was spurred by improvements in the real estate market. However, cement prices still stay stable. The cement industry sector plans to produce from 75 to 77 million tons of cement this year.
Vietnam's water puppetry left a strong impression on Egyptian spectators through the classic tale Isis and Osiris, performed by artists of the Cairo Opera House on May 12.
The puppet show Isis and Osiris is the result of cooperation between artists from the Thăng Long Water Puppetry Theatre and their colleagues at the Cairo Opera House. The first ever performance received the rapturous applause from a large crowd of local spectators, as well as overseas Vietnamese in Egypt.
Actually, the culture, it's a new culture for us here in Egypt, and the combination between it, the new culture and the ancient culture of Egypt, it was great.
The show is expected to help Vietnam and Egypt boost their cultural cooperation in the time to come. This is the first time Vietnamese water puppetry has been performed in Egypt in particular and the Middle East in general. The Isis and Osiris puppet show is a special event of the Egyptian culture sector. It is scheduled to go on tour around the country. The puppets are made out of wood and then decorated, while the stage is often a waist-deep pool. Bamboo rods support the puppet under the water and are used by the puppeteers, who are normally hidden behind a screen, to control them, making the puppets appear to be moving on water.
And that has come to an end of our program. Thank you for joining us. I'll see you next time.